Welcome to The Terrible Take, a mini podcast telling Steelers Nation what's on our mind. I'm Dave Bryan. It's almost been 14 years since the Pittsburgh Steelers selected a punter in an NFL draft. That player was none other than Daniel Sepulveda out of Baylor, and in the fourth round at that. For the most part, Sepulveda was a colossal draft bust for the Steelers, and mainly due to knee injuries that he suffered. Did that bad experience of drafting a punter permanently scar Steelers general manager Kevin Colbert when it comes to selecting that position? I doubt it. After all, there are usually only one or two good punters every year that are worth drafting, so odds are good most teams won't select one for several years in a row. That said, the 2021 draft might just be the draft that Colbert and company try their hand again at picking a punter. Last season, the Steelers dumped punter Jordan Berry prior to Week 1 in lieu of signing veteran punter Dustin Colquitt. That set of transactions didn't play out very well at all, and it didn't take long for Colquitt to be jettisoned and for Berry to be brought back. While Berry punted all right the remainder of the season, it's fairly obvious that he shouldn't be counted on to be the team's punter again in 2021. Sure, they recently re-signed Berry to a one-year contract, but that minimum deal can be easily terminated with just a $100,000 repercussion later in the summer when and if a better option is found. This year, there seems to be three very draftable punters, and they are Kentucky's Max Duffy, Cincinnati's James Smith, and Georgia Tech's Presley Harvin. We already spotted Steelers special teams coordinator Danny Smith at the Kentucky and Georgia Tech pro days this offseason, so there's that. He very well could have been at Cincinnati's pro day as well, and we just failed to spot him. In short, I think the Steelers have eyes on potentially drafting a punter this year, and I've thought that and said as much on the Terrible Podcast for some time now. How soon is too soon for the Steelers to draft a punter this year, and should they with only 8 scheduled selections? To answer the first question, I think spending one of the 2 sixth-round selections a team is scheduled to have is the perfect spot to draft a punter. As for the second question, I would rather the Steelers spend a late-round selection on a punter than I would them spending one on another position that more than likely wouldn't make the 53-man roster out of training camp. One argument against the Steelers drafting a punter late this year would be that one just as good could be had as an undrafted free agent right after the draft ends. Another argument might be that the last time that the Steelers spent a draft pick on a specialist, that it was a colossal failure as well, as long snapper Colin Holba failed to make the team in 2017 following him being a 6th-round selection. Well, I get both of those arguments for sure. The fact of the matter is that Berry can't be the Steelers' punter in 2021, and the team can't run the risk of hoping another veteran punter with better ability will come free prior to the start of the 2021 regular season. In closing, if the Steelers get the opportunity to draft the best or second best punter in this year's class in the 6th or 7th round, they should. Personally, I bet they will. Be sure to follow us at SteelersDepot.com and check out episodes of The Terrible Take every weekday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And check out The Terrible Podcast with myself and Alex Kozora every Tuesday and Friday.